I'm Adam Richmond, the host with Unlocks That Rocks, and this is Surviving Rocklahoma. And I am joined this amazing group of local guys that are emerging amidst a pandemic, which is ironic given their name. These are the boys from Shelter in Place. What am I correct in this assumption? Is did Shelter in Place was that part of just being in the middle of a pandemic and when we were on lockdown and such?
Yeah, you got that for sure. Everybody got stuck at home and everyone was told to shelter in place. And there was a group of guys playing different shows, solo acoustic, and it all just kind of formed together.
That's awesome. Now, I know Shane and I know Tyler from several other bands, and you guys are always traveling around in the area doing acoustic stuff and teaming up and stuff. Tell me about the some of the other guys in the band, if you could.
What's up, bro? So I would like to start off by saying this is honestly one of the most wonderful groups of guys that I've got the honor of playing with. I first met Tyler Greasy. I was in Reliance Code, he was in Solidify, and we played some shows at Temple Live and Fort Smith, Arkansas. So we both had separate shows kind of back to back there, and we agreed to help each other out as far as like the backstage things goes, helping each other set up our gear, do everything there. I played with Blackstone Cherry and he played with Blacktop Mojo, which were two really big hits in the area at the time.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because the venue was like so historic.
Yeah.
Like you would walk in, you can just feel the ambiance of the area. The architecture in there was so detailed.
All the backdrops.
Like everything you seen there was kind of like what you'd see like in Roman architecture. There was so much detail in the ceilings and the pillars and everything that happened there. And so it was one, just like a cool experience playing there. And to be on that stage, which is like, man, I don't know, as a musician, you really come to know and appreciate the stage.
Yeah.
So the stage there, when you walked in, there was like a huge crowd, like right up front. There's some seated areas. There was like a pit up front, and there was like all the stacked seating and the nosebleed seatings that you see from really big venues that your A+ bands would be playing on. So to be playing on that stage, one was, I don't know, it's like
You appreciate it. You're like,
yeah, it's almost like a dream come true, especially from being, you start out as a kid playing guitar and then you're on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And all the work that you put in just brings you to that area. So we both got fortunate.
Yeah,
got the honor to play.
yeah.
On that show was really when me and Tyler first connected. We started talking about of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men,
I
yeah.
brought them up and we just like started.
We were like, you know.
And so we created a bond on that. And then some months went by and he just like hit me up one day. He was like, hey man, you want to go hang out with me? I'm going to go to the mall in Tulsa. And so we started hanging out and we formed an even tighter bond. And then we started talking about music and we wanted to get some stuff together. And through the works, we found TP and Brandon Bahadrani, who unfortunately he's busy being a badass tonight. So, so he's not here with us. And then we found Mr. Cody Hicks back here, which is super talented drummer and has really brought a lot to our sound. And through that, we've been able to really make a successful album, a successful music video, and just the caliber of musicianship that we found in this band is really, really encouraging, I guess would be the best word. Like you're a musician and you struggle through life and you try to find these other people who share the same passion, the same drive, and the same goals as you as a musician. And honestly, it's hard to find. It takes a lot of searching and it takes a lot of time spent. And I don't know, there's a lot of times you could be discouraged, but if you just like push through, you find those exact right people. And I feel with this project, we've really come through and we've really found the formula for what it takes and what's going to take us further as far as being musicians. And so I just want to say I'm super proud of everybody in this band, and I don't know, I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
That's amazing, man. How do I follow up? How do I follow that up, man? Now I am so happy for you guys. And as I hit all of the shows, and I know I only scratched the surface of what's going on in the local music scene. There's all four of you I see in and out of all of these different shows. So I know you guys have that bond through this community and this love for musicianship. And I see it pouring out of Shane. And that's so exciting to me, because everything, all of this this gratitude and all of this freedom that you're feeling right now is all pouring into this album. And as you said, this new track, Be Free. So you've got this album coming up January 29th. How much of what you've just shared for us or do we expect to hear on the album?
Honestly, it's that's one of the best things about this album, is that there's so many creative energies in this band, but they're all so compatible that you get to hear all that through the album. Like, we all have, really, if you would put it into a Venn diagram, we all have a really big area that we meet in the middle, but we all come from kind of separate areas, but it's all really compatible, and it just jives right. And so that's honestly one of the things that I'm most excited about this album and about this band, is that you get to see bits of every, like, several different genres of music, but you get to see it when it coalesces together.
That's why we made Our Lives as We Know It. And
Yeah.
because it's a little piece of our lives, smashed into an album. It tells a little story about us and, where we came from and, our ups and downs and struggles, and that pretty much combined all together into a band.
And the chemistry there just it fits. That's right.
That's so intriguing. So let me ask you this. So I know some bands, they have one person who writes, or some bands they each come together with some ideas, just throw it all at a wall and see what meshes. Do you guys have a set formula, or did you guys just bring out a bunch of scraps and put the quilt together?
Really, like, hey, I got this song, check it out. And he's like, hey, I got this song, do you like it? And same thing, Tyler's like, hey, I got this song, what do you think?
Yeah.
And we take everybody's creative input, what everybody's feeling or thinking, and that's what makes it organic. It makes it, like a more legit song, I guess, if everybody's putting in what they love or how they're feeling. So we have an idea, we run with it, and it's a big conglomeration. Or, some of us will be sitting around the house and we'll play a few like riffs and be like, hey, I like that, and write a riff over top of it, write some lyrics, and then boom, here comes the song.
Like you have songs on this album that's been with us, like setting down and someone starting off from this idea, and he's a very great lyricist and vocalist as far as writing vocal melodies and having ideas as far as that, and he also plays guitar. So he can give a really good basis of what the song should be like. And then I'm really good at like taking that and then adding more of a guitarist like flair to it. But yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
it. So you guys genuinely are just four cooks in a kitchen, just throwing everything into a stew and see what tastes right. I like it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, really. Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
you had mentioned some killer riffs or anything. Tell me, do each of you guys have any standout, like just these parts of this one song that whenever you're showing everybody, oh, you gotta check this, you gotta check this song out, and just wait for it. Do you have any hidden gems in there that you're just excited for people to stumble across? So maybe they're not so hidden. Spoiler alerts.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the way one of our tracks, a little thing called Destiny, came out. There's a lot of different guitar parts that layer over top of it, and it's big. It has a double harmony on it. And, I'm excited for people to hear that because it's a little bit different than what you've heard from our EP previous.
Nice.
Honestly, for me, our first song, our single that we did together, Lose Control, was my first song that I actually stepped out and kind of took pride in being a lead guitarist, because I've always considered myself a rhythm guitarist, but I've really like put in work and like tried to be a lead guitarist. And with that one, I put in the time, I put in the work, put in the feeling within that riff to make that solo and that guitar work within that song what it is. And I don't know, for me that was one of, even though it was our first track that we recorded together, I felt like it was my stepping out point.
I like that. So, Tyler, I have a feeling that we're going to hear more of your vocal influence on this album. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
So tell us, I see how much these other guys are putting into their parts of the album. Do you have any particular tracks that you just really put a lot of yourself into and just let it sing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Crooked is definitely one of the songs that I just when I sat in my room one day and
Yeah.
I literally just the words just poured out, and it was just one of the as a musician, when things like that happen, it just, you can't just help but just let it just out, you know. And it was just one of those overwhelming feelings that night that when I wrote that song, and just being able to go to Adam Woods at Oakwoods and record it with these guys is just unbelievable to me. Like, it's been like a passion of mine for a long time to, you know, be able to create something like that and be able to make it even bigger than what it was when it was so tiny to me, you know. And to be able to do that is much appreciated. And
I like it, man.
the
Now,
rest of the album, and like when
oh, I'm
you
sorry.
hear
Go ahead.
that, it's all of us, you know. It's I mean, you're in it though. Yeah, I'm in it. So like, it's pieces of all of us, and it's just I hope you really like enjoy it, and it really like you just listen, you know, and hear us.
Sure. Now, you mentioned to follow up on that. You mentioned at one point that you can't, as a vocalist, you can't always, fully let it out. Do you ever find it difficult to gauge that emotion? I don't know about y'all, but whenever I'm driving in the car, I get some of those songs that I get a little choked up on. And I'm like, how are they doing this on stage, especially when they got so much emotion into that piece?
It's tough. Especially when you write a song about like love or family or loss or struggles or growth, that's very personal, and you're putting your life out for everybody else to hear. And one of our tracks on the upcoming album is called Reminiscent, and I wrote that song about my father passing, and that's hard to sing in public, but it's cool to see people react to it in a positive way, and it's really cool to hear like what these guys did to that song is from like a basic, like, hey, this is an acoustic guitar and a vocal, part, to making it as big as what it is. So yeah, I mean, emotion is a big thing.
I bet. Now we've talked at length a bit about coming together and what you poured into it. So what kind of a tempo, what kind of a sound can we expect in this new album? By the way, the new album, Our Lives as We Know It, drops January 29th. And tell me, guys, a little, what do we expect in this new album?
January 29th, it releases on all streaming platforms. So you'll be able to get Our Lives as We Know It on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Tidal, YouTube, Amazon Music, the whole shebang. We do have some hard copies that we'll have available at the show. And the whole album we'll play in its entirety at the release. To celebrate the album release, we're playing at the Vanguard in Tulsa downtown. We have Grind, Normandy's, Wolf Ugly, and Fall coming out. It's a really killer lineup. Those bands are awesome. I always love seeing them. So they're going to come out. It's going to be a stacked lineup. I'm really grateful for them to be a part of this release. So yeah, January 29th will be at the Vanguard, and the album will be available on all platforms.
And also, we're going to make sure each and every individual that shows up to our show is going to get something from us. Like, if you show up and you're going to support us, we're going to show our appreciation. And we're actually giving away, we're putting together bundles. So if you come to our show and you want to buy some merch, we're going to make it really easy for you to just get the whole shebang. And we're going to take care of you there. Because honestly, without our fans, we are nothing. Without the fans, any musician is nothing. So I really always try to take the extra step to be able to communicate and to show that appreciation and just be able to know our fans, because I want to know each and every person that comes to our show, and I want to show them that they are seen.
And also to make sure that they're entertained, that they have a good time for that, say, hour, 3 hours, that forget about it for a little bit, have fun. That's the thing. Entertainers, we're entertainers, so therefore it's an escape.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're hoping that they have a good time, forget about nonsense and everything, and have fun.
Yeah.
So please show up. I want to hang with y'all.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. I've seldom seen anyone do that, and I do just in the times we've run into you guys. I know you guys are an extremely gracious group of guys, and I really do appreciate that. That's another reason I am so happy to feature Shelter in Place right here on Surviving Rocklahoma, and we're also going to be playing this new track, Be Free. Can you tell me a little bit about Be Free?
Be Free was a track that I really kind of wrote from my heart. Just growing up, I don't know, I always felt a little different from other people. And for a minute, I felt like that might have been a bad thing, right? Because when you're different, you're often singled out and you're excluded, I guess, from the popular groups or the people who are most in the spotlight. But as I've grown older, I've noticed that whole popularity thing, falling into what's cool and what's not, it fades really quickly. And I guess you experience that most times when you get out of high school. You know, the jocks are the cool people in high school, and they're going to get the most attention. You know, if you're a little bit different from the curve or what's the norm, then you're not going to be really included in that group. But as you grow older and as you take pride in what you do and who you are, just in my experience, I've noticed that honestly has taken me a lot farther than those people who were trying to be kind of like put on a false front.
I like
to
it. Yeah.
be, you know, superficial to what's popular and all that. So with that one, I was really trying to encourage people to forgive my language, but you know, fuck what you think's popular.
Yeah.
Be you and be true to you. And at the end of the day, if you followed your heart, you won't be ashamed of what you did.
Fuck yes.
So
And you'll
that's-
catch this message by watching Be Free on and it's on one of their new tracks from on the new album Our Lives as We Know It, January 29th. And I am so excited to see this from you guys. By the way, sorry Shane, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But yeah, so you guys, I know you guys are huge fans of the Vanguard, and you're ever appreciative of every venue that you guys play. Can you tell me maybe when you came out of, you know, our lockdowns and the pandemics and the various mandates or whatever it could place, other than the band and the newfound camaraderie amongst yourselves, did any of you guys come with any new lessons or any new awakenings of any sort as we emerged into this post-pandemic world?
It's about the journey, not the destination. I guess would be like the biggest thing, you know. Enjoy what you got, enjoy what's going on, you know.
I knew that man. I knew at some point in this interview he's going to have something super poignant. I had to set him up. I like that one, man. Very good. Yeah, I'm going to have to edit that part out. Sorry. Anyway. But I appreciate you guys so much for giving me your time, Shelter in Place. And so I know you guys have got the show coming up on June 29th as we celebrate this new album, and we're going to be featuring Be Free right here on Surviving Rocklahoma. Where else can they see that? Where's the best place to see what's happening and what's new as the new content breaks from Shelter in Place?
We have the video released on Facebook currently. It's on YouTube as well, so you could go check out the music video and gonna preview the track Be Free before it gets released, you know, this month on the 29th. Yeah.
So tell me what's next for Shelter in Place. Where you dropped the album, you've come and entertained this hometown crowd who is ever chomping at the bit to get another taste. What happens after January?
February 5th, we open up for Tantric and Smile de Soul at the Venue Shrine, Tulsa. That's nice.
Hell yeah, man. Congratulations on that one. And let's see, there was something else I was so wanting to ask you guys. So we've got Shelter in Place. We got yeah. Okay. So every time we do an interview, I like to give our guests an opportunity to acknowledge anyone they wish to acknowledge. This is your moment to give out your shout outs, your call outs, your thanks, or whatever you would like to share. The spotlight is yours.
So I guess our biggest shout outs would one, first and foremost, be to Boomer Audios. Actually, Tyler Perry here is the manager and man up front when you go there. Super good guy. And they've given us a lot of good opportunities to be able to expand this band and do all that. On my end, I would like to give a shout out to Mike Calico and Tito Printing, because through previous endeavors and now he's always taken care of me. So if you have any business and you like any merch, go through him. I would like to give another shout out to these guys because they've stuck with me through thin and thin, or thick and thin rather. And yeah, oh yeah, guys. I love these guys, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for them. And to Adam Richmond at Surviving Oklahoma.
Stop.
I want to throw a shout out to Mosaic Productions for putting together the music video on Be Free, and Adam Woods at Oakwood Studio for actually doing the album Our Lives as We Know It. So those two guys, the top quality, they do great stuff. Yeah, so thank you for all that.
Look at those smiles. I can't wait to see them up on stage and pouring so much of themselves into this music. Thank you guys so much for sharing us a glimpse into what we get to see of this upcoming album. I have so much confidence in you boys, and I can't wait to see what is in the future for Shelter in Place. Because let me tell you, if we ever have to again, I'm so glad that I'm going to have a copy of Our Lives as We Know It to keep me company. And I'll be getting that copy January 29th. And you never know, I might be up at the Vanguard too to party with these guys. And so we can do things right. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me and allowing me to feature your music here on Surviving Rocklahoma. Remember, folks, check out Shelter in Place. Check out all of their socials. Be sure you hit those like, follow, subscribes, however you do it, and find them on Spotify and share your friends. Until next time, remember, you can always catch Surviving Rocklahoma here on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere that you catch your podcast. Make sure you hit those subscribe buttons. And until next time, as always, rock on.